All right. So, as you had kind of gotten close to finishing the hole and stuff, out of nowhere, well, first, I'm sorry, RuffDraft whispered, "Does anyone know how to drive a ship?" Problem was, is he rolled a 6. And one of the guards rolled a nat 20. And Miss Little Mermaid over here also rolled a nat 20. So as the guard was saying, no, you're not going to have any chance to steal the ship, and was going to come over and reprimand him and stuff, Little Miss Mermaid cast a fag cloud and caused all kinds of issues, and we went into initiative to try and find out how everyone escapes and stuff.
We return to the adventuring party.
Okay.
Sneak around. Sneak.
Okay, they're coming.
Run away. Run away.
That's the first time I've just like had fun with a match in a long time.
We will start off with kind of an overall idea of the world, since some of you may not know that. We are on the planet of KenTheFriend in the Volongo solar system. Okay. This is the 13th planet from the sun. And for quite a few years now, we have an individual called Marcus Melonius who has been trying to take over KenTheFriend. He's doing quite a good job of it as well. He came out of nowhere. People weren't expecting him to attack. And all of a sudden, the first attack was he took out the halflings, full-on genocide. And that put everybody on full alert, trying to fight back. But because he had already kind of gotten a good army backing before he did his first move, they just weren't prepared for him attacking. At this point in our present time, about a year ago, he finally took the last free city of the areas that are not under the magical mists. Okay. So he has now basically taken most of the world, most of the known world, right? Obviously, there's a few small towns here and there that might have a little bit of freedom, and there's a little bit of a resistance here and there, but for the most part, he's got it pretty under control. And this is a big problem. Now we come into what the next plan is, okay? And in the Marcus Knights, we find Gunnar has just been promoted to being third in command. And this is a very big honor, but just because he's been promoted doesn't mean he gets to keep it. He has to show that he can handle this. So Marcus Melonius has sent a message directly to him saying, this is your next mission. His next mission is to go and venture into the mists, these very foreboding magical mists that everyone's afraid to go into, because the rumors are no one returns once they've passed through. It has been hundreds of years since the mists have descended on KenTheFriend. Back when the Great War between the humanoids, which we now call Orcans, and the rest of the KenTheFriends, which are all the native individuals on the planet, there was a big explosion that caused this huge space to be covered by the magical mists and separate some of the people inside the mists versus the ones that are outside of the mists. And for a very long time, the mists were so charged with magic, you literally could not pass through the edge of the mists because it was like a full-on barrier. And every so often, people would test it and try and figure out ways to dispel it so they could get back to their loved ones and different things like that, to no avail. Now, in the recent years and things, the last like 10 years or so, they have noticed that the mists have slowly been dispersing enough that you can now pass into the mists. But like I've said, everyone that has been brave enough to venture in has never returned. So this is the big quest that Marcus Melonius has given Gunnar. Now, the reason he has done this is because they have had a decent amount of resistance. And since they have most of the towns under control, it either has to be some of these smaller towns, or maybe someone in the mists has figured out how to pass through and hide there to resist the Marcus Knights. So he has now been set on this quest. Okay? But one of the stipulations of him going on this quest is that Marcus Maloney's will only give him a small group of his warriors to go and find what's going on until he proves that he deserves more support. And if he wants any slaves at all to do his bidding, he has to go and get his own. So he makes a deal with an individual named Lotus, who heads up our spy division of the Marcus Knights. Some of you may know this, and some of you may not, depending on your history. And so they decide to set out together, Lotus manning a very large slave ship, while he has his own personal ship that's for the quest. Okay, and it's a little bit smaller. They set out to head from the continent where the Marcus Knights main base is, which for those that, if you want to pull up the main map, you can, but it's that top right corner continent in the map. Okay. And they start off there and they sail down on the ocean down south, and they have heard rumors because, Gunnar has done some research. He wants to do this right because he wants to keep his command, right? And he has heard some rumors that one of the individuals they've been very much seeking after has maybe been sighted in the libraries in the Rafta capital. So he's going to stop by this capital. Okay, so his first stop is this capital to see if he can find an individual that's more on the mechanical side. And this enters in Knowledge. Knowledge, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I am playing Knowledge. Knowledge is a mechanical creature made from machinery by a man named Tech, and he really loves his books. He was taught by his mentor all the different magics in the library he came from, and now he seeks to go to check out adventures to see if he can find more books.
All right. So we end up with the ship docking in your area, and he asks around with some of his warriors and things of where this individual has been seen. Obviously, it's near the library, so he goes to go look for you, and you can either decide, Ace, if you want to either role play it out, hit you getting captured, or you can just say that he gets captured. It's up to you.
I actually would like to roleplay.
All right, that's fine with me. So again, Gunnar and some of his warriors come and they are entering the library asking for you. That there's where have you seen this robot? Is there actually a robot in town? And where exactly is Knowledge at the moment?
He would probably be doing his job as the secretary of the library.
All right, so do you roll me a perception to see if you see these individuals come and talk to the head person, that information individual in the front desk.
Okay, I need to double check something. Okay, I get disadvantage on perception.
That's wonderful.
I went from 18 to 7.
Oh no!
So he is just basically sorting out all the books. Ooh, okay, that's nice there. Paperwork.
Yeah. And of course, the individual that is heading up the library is very scared because they've been under the control of the Marcus Knights for they're one of the ones that have been under him longer than some of the other areas. And so he very easily is like, oh, over there, and does not give you any warning because he's too scared to get reprimanded, right? Because they know some of the stuff that the Marcus Knights have done. So I will give you one more perception as they creep up on you, to see if you can catch them in time before they come to grab you.
Well, that went from 5 to 2.
Oh
No, you know
no!
what happens with that? You found that you had missed one of the very few books. Like you have scoured this library over and over and over, but you happen to find there was one book you had missed. So you are now super engrossed in this book because you found a book you missed. How could you have done that, right? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you feel strong arms grab you.
Okay. Knowledge just quickly turns and goes, "Oh, are you all interested in taking out some books for the library?"
No, we are interested in you. I think you should come with us, please.
Me?
Yes. We have some plans for you. Come with me. And they will kind of urge to pull you along.
Knowledge just goes, "Okay, I will follow. I will follow you where you would need me to go."
I think under his breath, and if you want to roll for the under the breath, you can. He'll be like, "This is the easiest job ever."
Well, that actually was good.
Of course.
Well, the 20 and 18.
All right, so you heard him because he was pretty close to you and stuff when he says this.
He goes, "What is your job?"
Oh,
Yeah.
my job is to find people that are good at
Oh,
finding knowledge and stuff.
Gregory's
I have a job for you, and you will be very helpful in my task.
Time to roll an insight check, which I have disadvantage on.
Yep, go ahead.
19 and a 1.
Nice. So yeah, you can definitely tell, like, because of the way he kind of
I
paused.
rolled a 19 and a 1 with disadvantage.
Oh, I'm sorry, with a disadvantage. Oh no, you have no clue then. You think he is the most noble person there is. Oh, and he's got a job for you. That's great. This will be perfect. You've been wanting to get some new knowledge. Being offered a new job will give you a chance to get new knowledge. This is great, right?
This is going to be wonderful. I was looking to get out of the library for a while now.
Oh, this is perfect then. We have the perfect job for you. Come along, come along. We'll take you to our ship. We're going to go on a trip. And you said you're good at finding knowledge, right?
Oh yes,
Oh,
that is my entire programming.
Oh, yes, then you will be perfect for our job. Come. And so he'll lead you to
Father designed me to collect knowledge.
yes. So he will lead you to the
Oh,
ship, and
Lord.
since you're so willing right now, and unless you give him any issues, like once you're on the ship and stuff, unless you give him issues or you say, "Oh, why are you doing this?" or "Why are you doing that?" he'll let you be kind of free range on the ship for right now because there's no reason to have you. He doesn't want to lose this good favor with you right now, right? So
Yeah,
for now, you're just kind of free range on the ship.
so far knowledge is basically going to every single person going, what do you do this? What are you doing? How does that work? How does this work?
And I think he'll just kind of like I think a lot of the soldiers and the shipmates and things are kind of looking at Gunner like, what do I do with this guy? And he'll just kind of nod like just please just appease him. So you're learning about the rigging and the sails and the anchor and all this stuff like that, right?
Now knowledge has been captured.
Yes. And
Willingly.
we'll move on to the next spot. Okay, our next one. Now we don't have two of the individuals that would be in the next section, but I will give you a general idea of what's going on. But we have RuffDraft is our next spot, along with the other two that aren't here. So we are going to sail across the sea over to where all the Flith are. And in the map, that's that center continent that's really dark green. For those that want to like follow along on the map. And you've got the capital of the Terras, which are our bunny people, and the capital of the Flitha, which is kind of fairy-ish nymphs. Okay, and it's very jungly there and everything else. And what Gunner is planning with this is to do a few raids to see if they find any resistance in this area, because they're thinking, okay, if anyone's going to have resistance besides on the mist, it might be in this area because this is the most recently taken area, right? So when they get to this area, they are going to go to a couple different small towns and work their way to the capital of the Flitha to see if they find any remainder revoltees and things. And some of them were accused of being revolting, and some of them were actual revoltees, right? And they're going to slowly capture them. Now, what Gunner will probably tell you, Knowledge, is probably to stay on the ship at this moment because it might be dangerous and we don't want you to get hurt. But there's plenty of stuff, and he'll like hand you like maybe like 4 or 5 books. Like here, you have this, and talk to the shipmates, but stay on the ship, okay? And he'll probably leave a couple of soldiers there to just in case you get ideas to leave, have them there, right?
You can give him a dictionary.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
And honestly, most of the books are probably going to be just basic books, nothing special.
Meanwhile, he's going to look at the one map in the room, and he's just going to be like, And he just starts actually cartographing the map.
Yeah, that works. That's fine. All right.
Which information he knows of in terms of landscapes.
Exactly. Now, RuffDraft, you have been traveling recently, and you've been working your way towards the Flitha capital because you're thinking, oh, this is a pretty good sized town. This might be a good place to go, correct?
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the group?
Where did I have? I had a good one written down. I don't have it available. He's kind of tall, but he's kind of cloaked and hooded. Kind of off to the side. Right now he's at a table drinking next to a window. Just kind of keeping an eye on the door, but just drowning his sorrows. He's got like a snout sticking out of the hood, so you can guess from the snout and from the hump on his back. He's probably a zone, if you can see him in a good light. But for now, he's just kind of chilling, keeping to himself, drinking.
Yeah. And the other 2 individuals we have, we've got one individual that is a cloaked individual with a white and red mask. And you're not really sure like what's going on with him. It's got a very flat mask, so most likely he doesn't have a snout of any kind, but you're not really sure what kind of race he could be, because it could be any real humanoid type race, right? So you're not really sure, but and they live in the capital. And I'll give you some more detail when they hop on, but I'll just give you a basic one for now. He's always lived kind of in the lower rankings and kind of the slummy type areas of the capital, kind of taking care of the rest of the people that are in that area. Okay. The other individual is much higher up, kind of in the nobility area, and they are a Flitha, and they've lived in that area. So when the Marcus Knights get to this area, they've already hit a couple different towns. So they've got a decent amount of people kind of in tow with them because, it takes a little while to drop them off. Now, some of them they were able to drop off. Some of them they're still got on tow because of the landscape, right? And so they haven't had a chance to drop a couple of them off or whatever. But for the most part, most of the individual can still do the raiding, right? So they get to the town and they start going through, basically, again, commanding and saying, if anyone knows of anyone that's been rebelling, they better turn them in, or you'll be considered part of, accomplice of these people. And they just completely start rampaging the area, start overturning tables, all that horrible stuff of like, again, doing a full-on raid, right? Of trying to look for anyone that might resist. If anyone tries to stop them from turning over the tables and different things and searching, then those will be automatically thought as someone that is rebellious and will be detained. And then they're looking for like hidden doors or other passages. They're pulling books off of bookshelves. They're doing all this different stuff. So for anyone that wants to interact with that, like a rough stuff, I don't know what you would do if you hear all of this ruckus in town or not.
Yep.
Well, since he's in the tavern, well, he's still trying to be a low profile, so he won't interfere with them unless they stop and look at him directly. He's going to kind of look away, and if they knock over his table, he'll just grab his drink and just kind of let him, as long as he doesn't draw attention to himself.
I love that. I like that. So we'll say the other 2 individuals, they had told me originally what they were going to do is the person that was taking care of the slum people, when they try to take in that area and take those individuals, both the nobility and the other individual were going to kind of try and protect some of the other individuals. and a spell happens and goes off, and in the process, the girl that's the nobility gets injured, and her arm gets damaged very badly. So they end up cauterizing it and everything else, but she has lost one of her arms in the process and has been captured along with this masked individual, because again they were trying to defend, right? So they were detained. And you may have heard the big explosion from the spell gone awry. And also there would be a few individuals that at some point, like you were saying, come into the tavern, overturn your table. You're being real chill. You pick up your drink. You're just letting them do their thing. And at some point, I think one of them will turn to you, just kind of look at you in general, like, and why are you hiding your face? Are you someone that is causing issues around here?
I'm just drinking my drink, nothing else.
Mm.
Sip.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like, then if you're not hiding from the Marcus Knights, show your face.
He slowly stands up, not in an intimidating sort of way. Puts some extra coin on the table.
Oh,
and calls out, "Barkeep, I'm sorry for your window." And with that, he leaps out the window to get away.
I love it. Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. Beautiful. So you start booking it, trying to get away.
Yep.
Obviously, this does draw some attention to you, and you'll now be being pursued. I'll let you, if you like, you can go ahead and have like a little bit of a chase. Obviously, at some point you will get captured, just because that's part of the story.
Yeah, we don't have to role play it out. We know the outcome.
Oh yeah, that's part of getting everybody to where they need to be. But yes, I think you give them a pretty good chase, because you did get a little bit of a head start, because you just all of a sudden out of nowhere just jump out the window. You may have gotten a few little cuts and stuff from jumping through the window, but you're doing okay for the most part. You give them a good chase, but after a certain point, they do detain you.
Yeah.
And obviously, you get captured as long, and you guys are ushered onto this ship. I will give knowledge a chance as they've brought everybody back. And it's been a few days probably, because they've traveled back and forth, and you've been seeing them slowly usher new people on, and some of them are just sad and crying. Other ones are fighting back. Now the big ship is getting most of the individuals, but only like specific people have been getting put on so far. You haven't really had any other people add to the little ship. This is the first time you've seen 3 new people being added to this ship, where all the rest of the people that have been being detained have been being put on the big ship.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just gonna approach him alongside with RuffDraft. He's just gonna be like, "Woo! What kind of creature are you? I wonder."
And what does he see?
He
not much.
sees a robotic creature in blue robes with a nice big blue hat and a giant 3-inch tome that he's writing notes in. And this guy just has been going around the entire ship just going, "What's this? What's this? How does this work? How does this work?"
You cannot glean much from the creature before you, besides their hands being covered in tar. Hands and feet, really. And the blank mask stares up at you.
Okay. You just hear like a clicking sound. He just goes, "Whew. That is fascinating. You have tar covered hands. I wonder what kind of species this would be. I would like to learn another species in this world."
I'm afraid that is not an option.
Ooh. He's just like, disappointing. Fair enough. I don't want to pry.
I appreciate it. Though I would be interested in finding out more about. And he looks around, seeming like he just came out of a stupor. Everyone else, I suppose.
Okay. Knowledge just starts rattling off everything he knows about everybody else. I'm Knowledge. I'm a machine that came from. I came from the Rafter City.
The
I,
captain,
I, I was
the last
I was
captain.
I was the librarian secretary, and I decided to go on an adventure, and this is quite the adventure. And over there we have. This is RuffDraft.
Would RuffDraft have seen my character around the flippin' city? He is kind of distinct.
I would say a history check. That way, in the time he was there, would he have picked it up from the other patrons or something else as news?
Yeah,
Or,
that's fine with me.
and that is a 7. Nope, don't know you.
Alastor seems a bit withdrawn, and well, you can't really tell much what's going on behind the blank mask, but he does seem to sidle into a corner now that the attention is off of him.
All right, since you guys are doing that kind of meeting right now, rough draft. Why don't you go ahead and introduce what you look like so that our newcomer knows what you look like.
And this is after he's been captured, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's kind of bound a little bit. He's zone, so he's wolf-like in wolf humanoid-like. His wings, as mentioned earlier, were shackled. He's pretty strong. He's pretty stoic, and if you have the insight, you might notice that he's kind of keeping an eye on like the entrances and exits. You know, kind of just keeping mental note of everything. As he's mostly silent, calculating, and if he says anything, it has to mean something to say something.
He walks over to Ken and goes, "So why have they taken you to this ship? To this ship, I wonder."
I don't know. Ask them.
Okay. Literally, he
Go
just
away. I think one of the guards says, "Go away, little boy, Brock. Go ask somebody else."
But I was just curious as to why you brought this person on this little boat.
Because he gave us much more trouble than the rest of the individuals, so we're going to put him in our brig because we don't want him collaborating with the rest of the individuals on the other ship. Happy? Now shoot.
Okay, thank you very much.
I love it. You are so easily, like I said, easiest job there is, right? Because the knowledge is just that naive, right?
Oh, you poor naive chump.
I know, right? So we've detained those individuals. So now you and the other two individuals are in the brig. Obviously, knowledge, because he's not causing any issues, is still just roaming around. As long as you don't get too nosy or anything, right?
Meanwhile, he's just going, "What's this? What's this?"
As long as you're like not going into like the captain's quarters or anything like that, which they probably would have said, no, go look over there. You know. Our next stop there is a couple of different islands that are between the Flitha area and the other continent above. And if you look on the map, you can see like there's like 3 or 4 islands right there before we hit the mists on the left there. And there's one that's a little bit larger. Okay. And this is where we're going to bring in Gregory's character. Now, if you want to, you can introduce yourself. If you want to, you can also kind of give an idea of why you're there. You don't have to, though.
So, my character is Fengwendolyn. She is a health who is a half elf, half halfling. She is a bubbly person with white hair. She has a decorated eye patch over her left eye. At the current moment, Fengwendolyn has been kind of standing by a tree. She's just kind of twiddling her thumbs, looking at like something in the distance that no one can quite really pick out. She appears kind of spacing a little bit with how she's not exactly aware of her surroundings, but almost like she's aware of something different. And so she's kind of just like wandering, just like kind of pacing back and forth, clearly waiting for someone or something to happen, and she's just kind of bored right now, waiting.
Mm-hmm. All right. So while you're waiting, you start to notice kind of a disturbance off in one of the port nearby in the town you're in. Again, where they're starting to do that raiding and stuff. They start with the port and they're starting to work into the town. And for you, Fengwendolyn, obviously you have a reason for why you would notice this. So I'm not even going to have you roll a perception. You notice that there's a disturbance. What do you do with it?
Fengwendolyn probably would hear it, and she'd probably be like, "That's quite an odd sound. I wonder if they're having a party." And so she'd probably like take a couple more steps, like getting closer, trying to like peer her head around a corner or around some trees, trying to look.
Mm-hmm. And you would see as you get closer, you would see that they're upturning things, they're searching for things, they're calling out to turn in anyone that's a resistance, that sort of stuff.
And I would say that she wouldn't even really understand what they mean, because I wouldn't say she's sheltered, but she's not left the castle much.
Right. I will. Go ahead.
No, so you can go ahead.
I would say, since you're kind of peering around the corner, I would say at some point, it takes a little bit, but as they get kind of closer and closer, I think one of the guards will notice that you're peering around the corner, like, "Hey, you! What are you doing over there?"
I'm trying to stay away from the Nurgles.
The Nurgles? What in the world are you talking about?
Come here. Is he trying to reach for me?
I think not quite yet. He's like, come here.
But are there Nurgles over there? It sounds like there's quite a chaotic thing over there, and I would rather not be affected by them. They're quite nasty little buggers.
You're making no sense, little girl. Come here. Get out of the corner. Don't be spying on us. You're not one of the rebels, are you?
I don't even know what a rebel is.
That's exactly what a rebel will say. Sorry, that was just me being silly. So you're not gonna come to him, right?
She would probably move like a step closer, but not by much.
Let's see here.
There we go. Found the picture.
So why were you watching us? Don't be doing this talking about this Nurgle thing. Just you tell me why you were watching us. Are you trying to spy on us?
Spy on what? I don't understand. I'm simply waiting for my teacher to get done with whatever business he's having to do, and then I think after that he promised that we would go visit the library, and then maybe the ocean or something. I'm not sure, but it sounds like a lovely time.
Your master, and he's doing some sort of business. Does he follow the Marcus Knights, or is he following someone else?
Well, the Dark One only follows the Dark One, you see. So himself, I suppose.
Well, that's not going to do, little girl. You better either swear your loyalty to the Marcus Knights, or we'll have to encourage you to follow the Marcus Knights. And I think they start moving a little closer.
I would rather not, and I would like to cast something. We will look. It is the first roll of the game.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, first thing first, we're just going to cast Mage Armor, buff my armor class.
All right.
And then I guess I got to roll that D100 now, correct?
Yes, you do.
Okay. There we go. That is a 27.
And I think what was the percentage of it going wild? Do you remember?
19, so no wild yet.
Okay.
But the wild count goes to 2.
Okie doke. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. If it gets too OP, then we'll shift it. But right now, it sounds like it should be okay. So we'll go from there. All right. So you do the mage armor, and obviously he sees you casting a spell. Like, now what are you doing there? Don't you be starting to cause issues. And I think they like start drawing their swords and like they're basically starting initiative, right?
I think that you're kind of possessed by the Nurgles. They're nasty buggers. Are you sure you're okay?
Oh, don't
Your head
start that
nods.
Nurgle thing again. I think he like motions to a couple other guards to like start trying to circle around you.
Nah, Nurgles are real. I see several right there. They're little wispy creatures, and they follow this strands. I don't know how to explain it, but they're there.
I think he kind of like does a really quick glance. He doesn't want to like take his eyes off of you, so he does a very small glance towards where you're looking, and obviously he doesn't see anything. He's like, "This one's crazy. Perfect for what we want." So he's like, "No one's gonna miss this girl." So I think he does a signal of like what basically to detain you, right? So I think they start moving in to try and detain you.
I think you need to stay back. You're festered with Nurgles. I would rather not deal with them myself. They're nasty little.
Yeah, and
things.
I think at that point they do try to like reach out and try and grapple you and try to grab you. And do you fight back?
She would try to at least like dodge. She's not gonna like damage or try to hurt anyone, but she's like, no, don't get me near.
Yeah,
I'm running away.
Yeah, and after a certain point, unless you want to continue to roleplay, we can just say that they after a point they do actually detain you.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So again, they start ushering you onto the ship, and again, you notice knowledge. They bring her on, and I will say, roll me a perception to see if you notice a certain thing there, knowledge, while they usher the rest of the people they detain onto the Yeah, so you have no clue. You have no clue. But I will say, Fengwendolyn, you see this because you are nearby. That when they usher the individuals, and you would have noticed this as well, RuffDraft, that they are stopping by Gunner, and Gunner is pointing yay, nay on whether or not you are going on the big ship or the little ship. Go ahead if you have something to say, you can.
Nope, not currently. Just kind of like, I don't want to be here. It's festered with Nurgles.
And I think at first, Gunner basically is like almost about to usher you to the larger ship. But then you see this little Terra that just kind of, oh, I think I like this girl. Can I have her, please? Please, can I have her? Oh, I think I could do some fun things with her.
Would she be extremely covered in Nurgles?
Yes, I would say he's probably is the worst person you've ever seen covered in your Nurgles.
And like I probably don't have access to my hand, but she probably like leans her head towards one of the guards. Does he know he's infested with Nurgles? In fact, I swear that's like the worst case I've ever seen.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna roll a perception to see if he hears the Nurgle.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I kind of hope you do because this would be kind of fun.
Nat 20.
Oh, you hear that? Oh,
I rolled
wonderful!
that, and I rolled that twice.
Nice. So you definitely hear this, that he's infested with Nurgles, and you're also seeing this rabbit just kind of like he. Oh, she's gonna be so wonderful.
Noah just clicks his head like this and just walks over and goes, "What's a Nurgle?"
Oh, you can't see them. They're these like little wispy creatures. In fact, a lot of these lovely individuals are infested with them, and I think they need to be treated. They're nasty little buggers. They happen to steal your stuff and usually your left sock.
So
I would say that
creatures that infest other people and steal socks.
yeah,
Oh, I love it.
they normally they always take your things, and it's quite a sad thing because you never know where it's going to turn back up, but it somehow finds its way back to your thing. Usually,
He picks up his spell book and he goes, "Did you hear that, Tom? It seems we've learned some new information today."
So I think, well, at this point, Gunnar has come up onto the ship next to you guys, and I think he's pinching the bridge of his nose, like, "Oh boy, I've got two of them." Like, well, maybe putting them to work will knock some sense into him. If not, I'll just give them to Adranar. And he kind of does a motion to the scientist, who's just overjoyed with these insane individuals, at least in his mind, that they are insane. It's like, at least I can't break them. And I do think if you want, you can hear him say, "At least I won't be able to break these."
Just really broken, right?
So the Terra is, and you would have kind of seen him in a glance coming by. He looks like a scientist. He's kind of garbed in a science like clothing. He's got the whole bug eye glasses going on with him, and his arsenal of things on him is lots of potions. He's even got like some random needles exposed. Like there's no tip on the tip of these needles. They're exposed. Okay, and is that a some sort of a magical explosive that's also on his belt? Those don't seem to go together very well, but it's there. Oh, I bet he is. I bet he is.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe later I can show you my precious, my perfect little thing. I think you would be able to understand the beauty of them since you see things that no one else can see. And he's saying this directly to you, Fengwendolyn.
I see a lot of things. There's the tides of the weave, not like the weave, but like there's like these strands of things that fly through the air. There's the Nurgles, there's the Ulwins, and she just starts listing like random creature names that no one has heard of, and it's just going on a tangent.
And so I think at that point, I think Agent R will usher you, will follow you and the guards that are ushering you to the brig, and like listening to all of it. I think he's right along with Knowledge, writing all this stuff down. So like all three of you are kind of like just working towards the brig, and then he's like outside of the cage, finishing up as you're doing this tangent. And RuffDraft, you're seeing this girl ushered into the brig with you, and she's just going on a tangent about all these creatures you've never heard of, and both Knowledge and this little bunny are just infatuated with her right now.
So, Mr. Terran, have you ever found yourself losing things on a repeated basis within a span of several minutes?
Oh yes, of course. It's very easy for me to do that. But you haven't seen my office. I could probably get someone to organize it. But
I lost a book back in
That's
the
a normal
library
symptom of the Nurgles.
I see. So you think it's from that? Oh, I guess it could mean that. Oh, I wonder if I could catch one of those.
Nurgles inflict sort of like a mishap in the brain, and it causes things to get distracted very easily. And then they take things and hide them and steal them and whatever. They're very nasty little buggers, and you're quite infested, I would say. I see them all over here.
Have you ever caught one before?
Oh no, I would hate to be around them. In fact, there's so many here that I would. It's dreadful. You can feel the energy of just chaos, I would say.
I see. Interesting. Oh, well, we'll have to have more chat. And I think the guards are just kind of looking at him like, dude, I am not staying here this whole time to make sure you're safe. And they just kind of glaring at him. And I think the scientist kind of looks at him like, I guess I have to kind of go. Like, we might have to chat later. I see there's some very interesting individuals here. And he just kind of scans the whole brig. You guys, the ones that are in the brig, have had your inventory taken, obviously. But obviously knowledge, because he's behaving and stuff, he's got his notebook still. All right, so we will move on to our next section. So they then start sailing towards the mists area. I'm going to introduce Malta's character next. So, Malta, would you like to introduce what your character looks like?
So right now she's wearing kind of like purple and black clothing. Her cloak that you can see most of is purple on the outside with a black, lining. Her dress that's underneath it is purple and black. Right, she has some brown leggings on, black boots. But you can't really see her face and can't really see much of any of her. She's kind of hiding. She's mostly keeping to herself.
Okay, so you have been traveling for quite a while now, and you've been searching and searching, and you've had a reason for searching. And according to the information you've gathered, you need to go into the mists. But as you've gathered this information, you've also gathered how dangerous it is to go into these mists. So for the last, you've gotten there. You've been kind of pacing in the water for this day, and you're just kind of like trying to work yourself up. I'm going to go in the mist. I'm going to the mist. And there've been a couple times you've been real close to going into the mist, but you're just like, no, I can't do it yet. Right? And as you're doing all of this and trying to psych yourself out, you see two ships coming towards the mist. And as they start to approach, you notice that they pause for a moment, and then the larger of the two ships starts sailing away, but the smaller one starts heading towards the mist. And you can tell with the way that they're sailing, they're not going to turn around. They're going to hit the mists. And they're being brave enough to go in. What do you do?
Funny thing enough, so we know this is happening, obviously.
You would hear a commotion as they're getting close to the mist, because a lot of the soldiers are very nervous about going in and like, are you sure we should be doing this and things like that. And like some of the people that would be guarding you are probably mumbling under their breath like, we are gonna die going in here.
Okay, this is the one time, oddly enough, RuffDraft actually relaxes. He's like, oh, I thought this was something else. Okay, we can handle this.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. That makes sense.
And then I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. All right. I like that. I like that a lot. What would your character do, Malta? Would you follow them, or would you have to like interact with them before they go into the mists?
She would be a bit worried about these people going into the mist.
Mm-hmm.
So she decides that it's safety in numbers. Maybe she should go. They might not know about the danger. Right?
Mhm.
They don't have to know anything about her, so just kind of keep an eye, and hopefully if something nasty comes around, they can kind of work together.
Okay. So do you introduce yourself, or do you just follow the ship as they go into the mists?
Right now she's just kind of following the ship.
Okay. So as you go into this mist, so as you start to approach the mist, you of course, and how do you say your name again, Malta? Your character's name?
Vegalath.
Elonin Vegalath?
Yeah.
Okay, Elonin. I'm going to just call you Elonin just to make it a little easier. But
Yeah.
Elonin Vegalath, okay. Elonin, as you see the ship starting to head in, and as you start going in, you've already noticed that these are not normal mists. So normal mists, are usually that kind of gray color, kind of like, the cloud that's resting low to the ground. These are not like a normal fog cloud. Is you've been watching it, and part of the reason that it's been so scary is you've seen little waves and wisps through it that pulse green and blue and sometimes purple just pulsing through it as these wisps through the mists. And so it does make it more daunting because you're not exactly sure what those things will do. But you do see as the front of the ship starts to lurch into the mists. You don't hear anything. You don't hear any screaming. You don't hear any charge of magic or anything. It's just slowly, quietly creeps into the mists. And as you get brave enough, seeing that the ship is safely passing into the world, you follow kind of behind in the water as silently as you can. And I will have you roll are you being stealthy as you're following the ship?
Yes.
All right, roll me a stealth.
So I got a 13, and it says stealth +7.
Okay, so that would be a dirty 20. Nice. So you're doing quite well. And I will roll my first roll for the campaign as I realize that I have completely buried my dice. There we go. I moved the blankets around so they were completely buried. Let's see how the scout of the ship does on watching for any random things. Oh no, he has not seen you, so you're good. So you guys sail in, and as you go into the mist, you heard like the basic sounds of the ocean, the whoosh of the waves, and the occasional like caw of like a seagull or other aquatic bird, things like that, right? But as you come into the mist, it just goes completely silent. Nothing's there, and it's very daunting and quiet. And it's very hard to see as you go into the mist. So and it was I'm going to learn this name. Elonin, was that it?
Yep.
Elonin. You would have to kind of you're starting to lose sight of the ship a little bit, so you'd have to move a little closer. But right now with the low visibility, you don't have to worry about them spotting you at the moment. And as you go through, it takes I'd say about a half a mile before the mists start to ease up, and kind of you notice that instead of it being like just low on the ground, that it's actually arcing up and over like a dome as you come into the area of where the mists are guarding all of this area or that are around this area. And so it starts to clear up, and you also see that the oceans again. You kind of hear the sound of the ocean again, and it actually seems normal again. You're not exactly sure why people haven't returned. But at the moment, you don't see anything that's daunting anymore. And the ship continues to sail on, and they go straight. And it takes maybe like a day of sailing to get to the island that they're heading to, because there is one that's very close to the edge of the mists. In that day, I want you to roll me. Let's do 3 more stealths to see if you're spotted as you're following the ship. So obviously, something's stopping them from coming back. So you haven't met what's stopping them. So obviously, you'd probably be still following them.
First one is an 18 +7.
Mm-hmm.
Second one is a 19 +7.
And you're rolling nice. You're getting some good rolls there, girl. And this dice is not happy with me. So you're good.
And the next one is a 10 +7.
Okay, come on, give me a good roll. Nope. You're great at this. The scout is absolutely horrific at their job.
I'm very good at hiding myself, apparently.
Yes, you are. Well, I mean, you are in your natural element, so it does make sense. It would be kind of hard to spot, All right, so because of that, we're going to go ahead, and I guess you'll meet her a little bit later, because that's just how it rolled, right? So as this day goes on, you get a visit in the brig, and knowledge you'll notice as that the little crazed bunny scientist who has not introduced himself to you has gone into his personal room, and when he comes out, he has on his leash a little individual. And Lorelei, I will let you introduce your character, and you can decide what she looks like at the moment.
Okay. On the other end of the leash, as she comes out of the room, you see a young half-orcan girl with wolf ears and a tail.
And I think your
And
hands are clawed as well, correct?
my hands are clawed and furred. I have I have furred claws. She looks very bestial, very not right.
Okay.
to be fair. It's like halfway between one race and another. And the best way to describe her is she just looks defeated. She's just falling behind him, occasionally like whimpering. Definitely doesn't look like a happy camper.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not talking really. Again, just kind of occasionally will like hug like that, but otherwise doesn't do much. Just follows behind him.
Yes.
Okay.
And the ears flick every so often.
Knowledge decided to get right up in. I forgot the new character's name already.
I don't think you said her name, but you can say the new individual.
Fair enough. The new individual. He just gets right up in her face and he just goes, "Ooh, what are you? I am curious to find out what you are."
I think as you do that, I think she vanishes.
Fascinating. She could disappear in thin air.
Ah, I see you have seen my favorite experiment of all. Isn't she wonderful? And she tugs on the leash to try and get her to turn visible again.
Oh, she does. And I think as you say experiment, the ears go down. And the tail just kind of tucks.
No, just ask the handler then. So what is this then?
Oh, she is my favorite. Oh, my favorite. My best experiment ever. She can take everything. Oh, I love giving her new things. Oh, isn't she beautiful? And soon she will be all orcan. Look at how close she is already. Isn't she wonderful?
Okay, and Knowledge actually says something that might get him in trouble now.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks over at the chain and goes, "Is it not more better to have a free roaming experiment? If you treat your experiments more better, they usually are more likely to stay around."
Oh, see, you don't understand. She, when I first got her, was so fiery. I did not even be able to use this kind of chain. I had to use one that was like this big of a link, and look how I have been able to subdue her. Isn't it wonderful? And now she hardly fights at all. It's so wonderful.
Subjugation is less efficient than friendly interaction. There's an old saying: you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Ah, I see you have that type of point of view. I wouldn't speak too quite loudly to the rest of the individuals here.
Why is that?
Oh, because they seem to enjoy the way that I do things. I mean, look at the progress I have done better than all the other scientists. Yes, of course, there are a few quirks here and there, but what is a good science experiment but having a few failures along the way?
I think Knowledge, if you're having the conversation, I think she is watching you. Like, you can tell she's watching you, but trying not to be up. Like, an ear is, like, up, and the other one's, like, down.
Now
and her head is like this, but it's, like, kind of, like, looking at you.
And now it's time for Noah to get himself into trouble because he just goes, "Oh, then I'll have to probably inform them about the benefits of doing things a little bit more with a velvet glove than an iron one."
Oh, yes, yes. You have fun with that. I have to go show the rest of the individuals in the break of my wonderful experiment. You have fun now. And he tugs her along and starts heading towards the brig.
It's like stumbles a little bit, follows.
Meanwhile, Knowledge is heading towards Gunner right now to go inform him about how to more efficiently deal with the slaves.
Well, we kind of know where that's going to go real quick. Because obviously at first he just kind of listens to you like, yeah, no. And he doesn't listen to you. And if you continue to persist, it's like, okay, now you're getting annoying. Go away. And if you don't go away, then he'll send you to the brig.
See, there's an easy way of making Noah's go away. He just has to be like, I'll think about it. And then Noah's will be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Gunnar didn't think of that, though.
Well, unfortunately, Noah did not heed that warning, and he just kept going, oh, but you see.
Yeah.
And he just points out all the statistics and everything he can think of.
I'll say about maybe like 10 minutes later after he gets to the brig, you'll get ushered in.
Okay, you finally annoyed me now.
I will say, if any of you know Zoan, she looks oddly like a Zoan, but you've never quite seen one that looks this wolf-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of the individuals on the brig will see this scientist come and tug the experiment in. Like, look, you must see my pride and joy, my favorite. Isn't she wonderful? Soon, this might be you as well. Isn't that exciting?
So yeah, she just kind of like looks over, just kind of blinks a little bit and looks back down. The ears kind of go back down.
Yeah, RuffDraft just bares his teeth a little, but is restrained enough not to growl, just keeping his composure at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Fengwendolyn is probably in a corner, like she's probably like scratching at the wall, like drawing something, but it's not leaving a mark. So it's just like she's drawing something, but no one can see it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And no one can really like. I will say that she would have a distaste for Fengwendolyn because of animal animosity.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So you feel this odd, like there's something wrong with her. There's like I don't feel comfortable around Fengwendolyn.
Yeah, I think that the closer you get, the closer Art gets, I think she literally starts backing up and just, like whimpering, like nope. And you literally see the what you thought was a half orc and half wolf girl suddenly turns into a wolf. A full on just wolf.
And what you're seeing is and she does have wings too. But so she's this wolf-like looking Zoan. But the thing is she's one, not a jackal. She's more of a wolf-looking kind of individual. Two, she's down on all fours instead of humanoid. And three, instead of having the normal like demonish or bat-like wings, they're feathered. But from what you can tell, looking at them, she should possibly be a Zoan, maybe.
She's backing away and just not anything that you think she should be. And just whimpering.
Like, what do you think? What do you think? Won't it be wonderful for you to join her?
Yes, wonderful.
Ah, I see. Yay. We actually have a willing one. Oh, I haven't had a willing one in a while. Though I will say it is fun to break the will sometimes. But, having a willing one is also an intriguing thing as well.
Why is that?
Well, because, most individuals, they don't seem to understand that I am improving them. And so having someone that actually understands me is, it's so wonderful, to actually get that sort of individual that can truly understand that I am going to make them something great.
Just whimpers.
Is she in the cage or is she still on the leash?
At
She's
the
on
moment,
the leash.
leash.
Okay.
And I think the guard that came with him, because obviously they tend to try to have at least one guard with him when he comes to the brig, is just rolling his eyes this whole time. Like, being quiet, but rolling his eyes.
And the best way to describe her is she just looks defeated. She's just falling behind him, occasionally like whimpering. Definitely doesn't look like a happy camper.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not talking really. Again, just kind of occasionally will like hug like that, but otherwise doesn't do much. Just follows behind him.
Yes.
Okay.
And the ears flick every so often.
Knowledge decided to get right up in. I forgot the new character's name already.
I don't think you said her name, but you can say the new individual.
Fair enough. The new individual. He just gets right up in her face. And he just goes, "Ooh, what are you? I am curious to find out what you are."
I think as you do that, I think she vanishes.
Fascinating. She could disappear into thin air.
Ah, I see you have seen my favorite experiment of all. Isn't she wonderful? And she tugs on the leash to try and get her to turn invisible again.
Oh,
she does. And I think as you say experiment, the ears go down. And the tail just kind of tugs.
No, it just
Tugs
ask
around.
the handler then. So what is this then?
Oh, she is my favorite. Oh, my favorite. My best experiment ever. She can take everything. Oh, I love giving her new things. Oh, isn't she beautiful? And soon she will be all organ. Look at how close she is already. Isn't she wonderful?
Okay, and Knowledge actually says something that might get him in trouble now.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks over at the chain and goes, "Is it not more better to have a free roaming experiment? If you treat your experiments more better, they usually are more likely to stay around."
Oh, see, you don't understand. She, when I first got her, was so fiery. I did not even be able to use this kind of chain. I had to use one that was like this big of a link, and look how I have been able to subdue her. Isn't it wonderful? And now she hardly fights at all. It's so wonderful.
Subjugation is less efficient than friendly interaction. There's an old saying: you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Ah, I see you have that type of point of view. I wouldn't speak too quite loudly to the rest of the individuals here.
Why is that?
Oh, because they seem to enjoy the way that I do things. I mean, look at the progress I have done better than all the other scientists. Yes, of course, there are a few quirks here and there, but what is a good science experiment but having a few failures along the way?
I think Knowledge, if you're having the conversation, I think she is watching you. Like, you can tell she's watching you, but trying not to be up. Like, an ear is like up and the other one's like down.
Now
her head is like this, but it's like kind of like looking at you.
And now it's time for Knowledge to get himself into trouble because he just goes, "Oh, then I'll have to probably inform them about the benefits of doing things a little bit more with a velvet glove than an iron one."
Oh, yes, you have fun with that. I have to go show the rest of the individuals in the break of my wonderful experiment. You have fun now. And he tugs her along and starts heading towards the brig.
She like stumbles a little bit, follows.
Meanwhile, Knowledge is heading towards Gunner right now to go inform him about how to more efficiently deal with the slaves.
Well, we kind of know where that's gonna go real quick, because obviously at first he just kind of listens to you like yeah, no, and he doesn't listen to you. And if you continue to persist, like, okay, now you're getting annoying, go away. And if you don't go away, then he'll send you to the brig.
See, there's an easy way of making Noah's go away. He just has to be like, I'll think about it. And then Noah's will be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Gunnar didn't think of that, though.
Unfortunately, Knowledge did not heed that warning, and he just kept going, oh, but you see.
Yeah.
And he just points out all the statistics and everything he can think of.
I'll say about maybe like 10 minutes later, after he gets to the brig, you'll get ushered in.
Okay, you finally annoyed me now.
I will say, if any of you know Zoan, she looks oddly like a Zoan, but you've never quite seen one that looks this wolf-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of the individuals on the brig will see this scientist come and tug the experiment in. Like, look, you must see my pride and joy, my favorite. Isn't she wonderful? Soon, this might be you as well. Isn't that exciting?
So yeah, she just kind of like looks over, just kind of blinks a little bit and looks back down. The ears kind of go back down.
Yeah, RuffDraft just bares his teeth a little, but is restrained enough not to growl, just keeping his composure at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Fengwendolyn is probably in a corner, like she's probably like scratching at the wall, like drawing something, but it's not leaving a mark. So it's just like she's drawing something, but no one can see it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And no one can really like. I will say that she would have a distaste for Fengwendolyn because of animal animosity.
Oh, that's
Yep.
true. Yeah. So you
Yep.
feel this odd, like there's something wrong with her. There's like, I don't feel comfortable around Fengwendolyn.
Yeah, I think that the closer you get, the closer Art gets, I think she literally starts backing up and just like whimpering, like nope. And you literally see the what you thought was a half orc and half wolf girl suddenly turns into a wolf. A full on just wolf.
And what you're seeing is and she does have wings too. But she's this wolf-like looking Zoan. But the thing is she's one, not a jackal. She's more of a wolf-looking kind of individual. Two, she's down on all fours instead of humanoid. And three, instead of having the normal like demonish or bat-like wings, they're feathered. But from what you can tell looking at them, she should possibly be a Zoan, maybe.
She's backing away and just not anything that you think she should be. And just whimpering.
Like, what do you think? What do you think? Won't it be wonderful for you to join her?
Yes, wonderful.
Ah, I see. Yay. We actually have a willing one. Oh, I haven't had a willing one in a while. Though I will say it is fun to break the will sometimes. But having a willing one is also an intriguing thing as well.
Why is that?
Well, because, most individuals, they don't seem to understand that I am improving them. And so having someone that actually understands me is, it's so wonderful, to actually get that sort of individual that can truly understand that I am going to make them something great.
Just whimpers.
Is she in the cage or is she still on the leash?
At the moment, she's on the leash.
Okay.
And I think the guard that came with him, because obviously they tend to try to have at least one guard with him when he comes to the brig, is just rolling his eyes this whole time. Like, being quiet, but rolling his eyes.
He's still a little intimidated,
Mhm.
but he's when he did say, wonderful. Actually,
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to pull that back. Um, is she coming in here?
No, no, I would never let my prized possession out of my, hardly ever out of my sight. And if I did, the only place she's allowed to be when I am not there is my own personal quarters. Oh, I could never risk anything happening to my perfect favorite experiment. As he kind of
Again,
just,
ears. Oh, go ahead.
no, I'm not.
The ears again. As you say favorite, you hear another whimper, and she like lays down, and like the ears again just goes down. The tail tucks. You can tell that is not a good word for her.
Hmm.
Where are your quarters?
Oh, are you interested? Of course, I have one of the better quarters because I am the only scientist on this trip. But, it could be a little better. I mean, I am a pretty high up scientist. But it's better than nothing, I suppose. It's along with the other quarters, the better quarters, I should say. But I'm not going to give you the exact. Wouldn't want to have any issues with you trying to break out or anything. No, no. We wouldn't want my favorite to be risked at all, now would we? And honestly, with the way you're looking, I think I better get going. And I think he'll start scuttling off.
I think as they about to leave the brig, she shifts back to working form, as if she can't maintain that. And she looks back at RuffDraft for just a second,
He gives a nod
and
as
then follows
she
him.
does, trying to acknowledge.
And then she follows him, but like looks at him, and then he has to tug her to get her to go.
Mm-hmm. All right. So now you've kind of all had a general idea of like the introduction of the individuals, right? And finally, after the rest of the sailing of the day, you finally come to the first island that's under the mists, and it's a decently nice island. There's quite a bit of vegetation. You can kind of see maybe a peak in the distance, but it's kind of hard to see because the way that the mists are, they are higher up, like I said before, but they are still kind of low riding. So like any peaks of like mountains and stuff, a lot of times you can't see the top of the peak because it hits the mists, right? But you can kind of see that there is definitely some sort of larger mountain structure on this island. And as you start going in to the port area for this island, you also notice that there's a secondary, some sort of land structure. It looks larger, maybe a plateau of some sort, or just a larger mountain. You're not sure because of the way the mists kind of hit it. You can't really tell how high it goes, right? But it's much larger than the other one. And as they start to slow down, you notice that they've kind of found uh, knowledge. Well, no, actually, none of you can see this, but
Knowledge got taken to the brig now,
yeah, you got taken to the brig.
which means I probably lost Tome.
So the only one that really sees this is it Evelyn? Isn't that right?
Alonin.
Elonin.
Elonin. So Elonin, you're really the only one out of like the party that is seeing this. That they are pulling up to a pretty old and dilapidated town, and yeah, there's a dock, but it's if you want to walk on it per se, because it's been abandoned for a little while. I mean, it's still there, but it's got wear and tear. I mean, like I think you could probably walk on it as long as you're not too heavy. Like say knowledge, you might have a little bit of problem with it because you're a little on the heavier side. Um, but like the other individuals should be able to get over it with it just creaking, right? So you can tell that this town has not been being maintained. There's no signs of life in this town, nothing. And as they come to a stop, you see them start to usher off the different individuals. So first of all, they start kind of setting up a way to make sure that they can bring the individuals off the ship, right? And as soon as they feel, they kind of check the town, make sure there's no one there, right? And as soon as they think it's safe, then they bring off the more important individuals and the slaves. So as all of you are getting ushered off, you're seeing this, like I was saying, how it's kind of old and run down, and it's definitely a ghost town at this point. They've kind of confirmed that yes, it is a ghost town. And as you cross the docks of where they've put their ship, it does kind of creak and stuff, but for the most part it holds up. But you can see there's like maybe one or two holes here and there, but for the most part it holds up. Now knowledge, on the other hand, it really creaks, and you're not sure if it's gonna hold. So when everyone hears how much it's creaking, they all kind of separate from you for a moment, but kind of keep their like guard up with their like weapons, and but they have a good wide berth around you, just in case you fall through across the water.
No, suddenly just knowledge. I mean, turns to the guards. I'm guessing the guards are guiding him through.
Yeah, they're guiding him through, but they still got a good, they're all got pole arms out, so that way they can be further away from you.
He just goes, if I had Tom with me right now, I would be able to use Tensor's floating disc and get over this easily, and you wouldn't have this much problem now.
No, no magic. Just keep moving, and you kind of feel poked from behind.
You might have to roll to see if you don't fall through the dock.
Yep. That's actually what I was about to do. Yeah. Let's see. I'll give you a choice: bullet or dragon.
Dragon.
Would it be safe to say that it didn't even creak under my weight?
Yeah, I would say so. You're really, aren't you? Yeah, you're really, really light.
62 pounds. I'm small. I'm a tiny thing.
yeah. No, it would not have creaked under you.
Okay, because I would have made a comment if it did. I would be like, oh.
So I picked odd, and I got odd. It breaks.
Oh no!
All right, give me a dex to see if you can grab onto the part of the break quick enough that you don't fall in the water.
Okay, let's see what my dex bonus is.
Okay, good.
Okay, 9 total.
Oh
no! So you hit the water with a push, and how do you react with hitting the water? Their knowledge.
Okay, well, first he's spiking like crazy. He just goes, "Help! Help! The water is going to make me rust. I am going to short out and this.
And I think
would try to dive in if he could.
Okay, I like it. Go ahead. And as you're doing this, you also hear from the shore from Gunner, "You idiot! Stand up!" You realize you're actually decently close to the shore.
Did I just dive into shallow water?
Yeah,
I'm coming.
Maybe you should roll to see if we didn't hit his head on a rock or something.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. What do you think, RuffDraft?
Dexterity saving throw?
Sure, go ahead.
That is a nat 20 for 23.
Ooh, nice. Not only did you not hit yourself on a rock, but you did like a full-on roll in the water and stood up like you meant to do it on purpose.
And he'll help him up like it was all part of the plan.
Yep, I love it. And so you
be careful of the aquanic.
Go ahead.
Be careful of the aquarnics. They're quite I've heard that they're quite nice this time of year, but it also varies by the season and the weather.
Hurry, out of the water. Hurry.
I think I'm going to write that down until later. He's just like, get out of the water.
All right, so you rejoin the rest of the slaves. And does any of the other slaves do anything after he gets out of the water? Okay. All right, I'll take that as a no. So I will say the scientist will run over to you, knowledge, and because he understands mechanics a little bit. He's not a mechanical scientist, but he understands you need to be dried. So he will actually pull out like he went and ran over to the ship, grabbed a towel, and is now helping you pat off because he just
We don't
lose
have
your
access
knowledge.
to magic, do
Lose
we?
your knowledge.
We don't have access to our magic, do we?
No, no, you do not.
Okay.
At first, you're worried. You're worried that because you've never hit water before, you're worried that it might mess up. But as you're getting pat dried and everything else, you realize whatever the source is, it doesn't seem to have affected the main source of your power, which is good. It wasn't affected by the water. Now your circuitries that were connected to the odd source, those are what were kind of sparking and everything else. But your main source is still good.
He goes, oh, good. My main power source is okay.
Okay. Um,
So I'm close enough to see that they'll like have slaves and stuff, right?
yes, yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay. As you have been on here, and I did forget to mention that as each of you were captured, your items were taken, and
Including my eye patch.
no, they think that's just a normal eye patch. They have no clue what that is.
Okay.
Unless they've done like detect magic that I know of. They probably your eye patch should be fine. Not to mention that they're not too worried about you using any magic items because one of the things they did as a precaution is they clamped down a bracelet down onto your wrist. When it got clamped down onto your wrist, you would have felt a small pain as a few needles all the way around the band pierced into your skin. And if you've messed with the band at all or anything, you've noticed it's very painful to mess with it. And there's like little tiny electrical shocks if you try to pull on it and pull it off. And also when it was clamped down, it kind of clamps down and right where the seam would be, it's such a well-made band. You can't really tell where the seam was anymore. I mean, you can kind of figure it out if you look at it long enough. But it's very hard to spot it because it's pretty neatly seamed, if you know what I mean. And as it got clamped down, you also feel your magic kind of ebb away from you in the sense of like almost like you're in a non-magical field, anti-magic field. Only it's like coursing through you from this band. And the other thing that's very interesting is you notice like if you're watching your wrist where they've put it on, that slowly a hologram starts to form around your arm and up across your body to where you look human. So at the moment, you look human. Also, those that have wings, your wings have been clamped down in their own style of wing shackles that clamp them down to your back, so that you can no longer use them. And it is not a comfortable feeling either. They rub something fierce. And as you guys are on the land now, they very quickly put you guys to work on digging a massive pit in a nice open area near the town. Because they're like, you know what? This way we don't have to have someone on the ship because the docks are kind of away. It's a decent walk, and we really don't want to put the stupid robot across the dock again. So instead they have you dig a hole to basically put yourselves in, and that's going to be kind of your prison for the time being until they can actually make a makeshift prison kind of cell in one of the buildings. As you guys are digging, you kind of overhear some conversation that Gunnar wants the group to split into 3 groups. One group to stay in the town and keep an eye on the prisoners and kind of make the town at least somewhat accommodating for the night. Obviously, they can't do too much the first night, but at least get it accommodating to sleep and whatnot like that. Because, of course, I don't think anyone wants to go across that dock now. There's a huge hole in it. And so they're like trying to figure that out. And they also have a second group that is going to start heading north and try to go as far north as they can on the island, to see if they see any like other better places to stay, or if there's any life on the island, anything like that. And the other group is going to go south, same way. And they agree to meet at about dusk that night. So they'll be able to go a certain distance, and once it gets to a certain time, they'll try to head back and report what they've got back. So you've got till dusk to kind of get this hole built, and they work you pretty hard because they want to get you in there as soon as possible because they don't want to have to deal with watching you too terribly carefully, just enough to have it to where only one has to watch you at one time. Let's see.
I get a -1 on strength checks.
Oh no!
My
know what?
digging is going to be horrible.
I love that. I didn't even think of that, but you know what? Let's do that. Why doesn't everybody roll me a strength check to see how well they dig this hole? Because I hadn't even thought about that. You know what? Let's do that.
I'm not digging, right? Amy.
Dig, diggy hole. Diggy, diggy
Only
hole.
one who doesn't have to do that.
I'm not right.
No, you would not be as well, Lorelei, because you're with the scientist. So I think he's kind of set up a little like spot. He's got his own little like chair that he brought with him, and it's kind of like it's almost like a lawn chair, but not, because obviously it's too high tech, right? But it's like his own version of like this little clothy foldy thing that's kind of made out of wood and cloth. No, it's of course I've scrolled all the way up on this chat and it's not on that chat. Really?
And probably the rug, right, Amy? And probably the rug.
Oh yes. You would see in the in your passive and stuff that one of the guys reluctantly brings out a rug to lay out in front of the scientist, and he's like, "Oh, thank you. I could not have had her lay on anything but her personal rug."
You're gonna love this.
And again, he tells his eye. Go ahead.
I get a -1. I rolled a 1, so I got a 0.
Is it athletics or is it just strength?
You can use athletics if you'd like.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't have a bonus in either besides the +1.
That's funny.
Okay,
I got a 7.
Oh, this hole's not getting dug very fast. Well, we have knowledge who is tinking.
Even
the
with my
ground
athletics, I
and
still have a 0.
So I feel like knowledge is tinking the ground and not realizing that he's hitting a rock every time, and not understanding why this is not working. And then we got Fengwendolyn, who she's digging, but I feel like every so often she's kind of again just looking off in the distance and forgets to dig, and so they have to hey, get back to digging.
But there was a there was
I don't care about your craziness. Get digging.
You'll care once the Humpleducks get you.
I love it.
Meanwhile, Noah just goes, this ground is very hard to dig through.
Would you stop
hitting a rock?
How many guards
okay,
are
I'll
between
stop
us?
hitting the rock.
Sorry, how many guards are between us and the ship?
I'm gonna say there's about 3, and then there's a couple others that are around you, as you're doing this.
Well, he rolled a 6 in his strength check anyway, but he tries to whisper to the others just subtly. Anyone know how to sail a ship?
I can roll for that if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. Anyone that wants to try and roll to see if they know how to roll to sail a ship, they can. I would probably do history or survival on that one. History of the knowledge of it, and survival of just figuring it out because of your experiences in the wild kind of idea. And then also rough draft. Roll me a stealth on keeping that.
I am very stealthy. I can stand still and turn invisible.
You said history of
That's a
what?
6.
Oh no!
It was history of what, Naomi?
History
or
and survival.
I have a 17.
Nice. So you're actually pretty good. Was that survival or was that history?
History.
Oh, nice. So we'll say for you. I mean, you've heard lots of stories about your people and how some of the myths of your people is that the Hissups, which are the snake race, are very well known sailors and pirates, and that in the old days the Mermaish were hunted by them. Oh man. Of course that's the time that I roll an at 20. All right. Anyway.
Oh boy. Anybody here know how to sail a ship?
I rolled a 24.
Oh,
Knows too.
oh yeah, definitely.
I think when RuffDraft says that, I think ears just gonna perk up from the rug, and she's just watching you guys.
And for survival, I rolled an 18.
Nice.
Fengwendolyn does not roll.
I'm sorry, what is Fengwendolyn what?
She's not rolling.
Oh yeah, because she's probably distracted again.
Am I close enough to hear what they're actually saying and stuff?
Roll me a perception. It doesn't have to be super high because he was definitely really bad at his stealth. So you should be able to find it pretty easy, but go ahead. Just because of your distance, because you would have a little bit of a distance.
I'm pretty sure I heard it. It was perception.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a nat 20 plus 4.
So not only did the guard very well hear this, but so did you.
Okay, it is
was almost like you were
established.
screaming it.
It's established Rough Draft does not know how to whisper.
Yes, it is established that RuffDraft does not know how to whisper. I love it. Oh, sheesh. So yes.
So, is kind of just wherever she's hiding going.
Okay. As for knowledge, he's gonna just start rattling off all the information on how to drive a boat.
Oh my! Right in front of everybody. Gotta love it. Does anyone stop him?
While this is going on, Elonin decides that she's gonna have to try and do something to help these poor people, especially because Noah seems to be oblivious at the best of times. So she's actually going to cast her only spell she's got right now.
Oh no! Okay, good.
So she's gonna cast Fog Cloud in hopes of distracting them.
Oh, interesting. Okay, go ahead.
It creates a 20-foot radius spear of fog centered on the point within range. The spear spreads around corners, and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for duration or until a wind of moderate or greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, dispenses it.
Okay. And what's the range on that? Like on how far away from you can you cast that?
It says range 120 feet.
Okay, you're good. You're good. Because you're in the kind of in the little lagoon area. You have come in on the right side of the map here, and the town that has the 5 on it, that is the ghost town you guys are in. Okay, and you can see that there's a little bit of a beachy area, and right inside of the town there, and that's where you're digging the hole. You know, that kind of more open area in between the buildings. Because you're in that water, in that little like lagoon along the edge there. But again, you can kind of see how close it is to where the hole would be. So you could totally reach them because it's not that far. And so you have cast Fog Cloud, and right before you've cast Fog Cloud, I'm going to have the guard start to talk because obviously he also noticed the very loud thing is, "Don't you even think about trying to take our ship!" And as he's saying this, the Fog Cloud descends. He's like, "What? No! What's going on, everybody?" And they're like, "Grab the prisoners! Find them before they try to escape!" You know. And so there is now mayhem. Roll for initiative. So Rough Draft was a 21, right?
28.
Yeah. No, 28.
28. Oh yeah, 28.
Alona was the 21. Knowledge was the 20.
Okay, and was yours a nat 20 or no?
It was a dirty 21. I have a plus 10 to initiative, so I was like, woohoo!
And I got a dirty 20.
One. You got the alert.
And then yours was a dirty 20, you said, knowledge?
Yep.
Okay.
Since I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to go get some water.
And then Rough Draft for the nat 20 with the 8, right?
Hey,
Yes.
Ace, if you're going for water, can you grab me one too, please?
I'm downstairs.
I could use a drink as
Oh,
well.
I thought you had to go.
You guys grab a drink, that's fine. Actually, you know what? Where's mine?
I thought you had to go to the kitchen to get your water.
No, I can go to the cat room.
Why don't we, since so many people need a drink, why
No, I
don't we
was
pause
being
for
a
a second
character.
and grab a drink?
Intermission.
Okay. All right. So, here's how this is going to play out. Right off the bat, we're going to have some fun with this. A couple of people. So, the way I rolled this, I rolled a certain amount of die for the bad guys. And right off the bat, about half the bad guys that were around you doing the hole, you hear all of a sudden a scream as a couple of them fall into the hole because they misjudged where they were in this fog cloud and rolled a nat 1. So, like, 2 or 3 of them have now fallen in the hole.
Nice.
Okay, Rough Draft, you have the initiative, I think, because I think we've got everybody. Because I've got Rough Draft, bad guys. I've got. I am going to learn your name, Miss Mermaish.
Elonin.
Elonin. I've got knowledge. I think that's everybody, right?
What about Fenwin?
Fengwendolyn. Yeah, I don't have Fengwendolyn on here. What was your roll again?
A 10.
A 10. Oh, that's right. Yours was the 10. Thank you. That's why I was listing him, because I was like, I feel like I'm missing someone.
What?
Technically, I would have been really, though, if I didn't have a plus 10 to my initiative.
Yeah.
You have alert, don't you?
Yes, I made sure to have that because I remember my course.
Yes.
I am very bad with initiatives.
Yes.
I have it too, so don't feel bad.
Okay. I am going to give Ilona a surprise round because she's the one that initiated the initiative, right? So you're going to get a surprise round because no one knew you were going to do this, and then we'll start the full initiative, okay?
Okay.
So Ilona, what would you like to do first?
I am going to carefully, as I can, and as quietly as I can, run into the mist area to where the closest person in chains is and start using my thief tools to try and break them out.
Okay, I need you to roll me a perception or survival to try and get to them through this fog.
I don't know if it helps, but I do also have dark vision.
I don't think dark vision is affected with fog. Am I correct in that thinking for the my
Correct. It would not do anything with fog.
Okay, I thought so. Thank you.
Devil's sight and improved what I think, but not regular.
Devil's sight is related to darkness as well, Lorelei.
I got a 23.
Okay, you're good. So you run up, and we're gonna say you find Rough Draft because he got the highest initiative. Roll me a sleight of hand to see if you can get these off.
I got a 20, dirty 20.
Nice. So, with a dirty 20, yes, you do get them off. So you notice as you're feeling along him to try and find the chains, there aren't actual like shackles on their legs or anything. It's just that band on their wrist. And RuffDraft, you would know this. So as you're feeling this individual kind of search you, if you want, you can encourage it, to like put your arm down to her, right? And as you're doing this, because it is being hacked, you do feel a small shock of it, but because she is so nimble with how she did it, because she got a dirty 20, you only get an initial shock. You don't get the full bad shock from this, and it does pop off. And you now have access to your spells, and your full strength as well, because you did kind of feel sapped of strength as well. All right? That's probably why you were having so much trouble digging that rock. Or no, that was Knowledge. Knowledge was the one that was digging the rock. Never mind. All right, RuffDraft, you are up.
Okay, so just to clarify, I actually have a negative feat that I have to roll disadvantage on initiative.
Oh, okay.
I re-rolled my initiative, and it was another natural 20. I've got the pictures of it. So that doesn't change.
That's cool, though.
The guys that landed in the pit, are they unconscious or are they just kind of lying there hurt?
They're on there. You know what? Let's roll. Let's find out. And since you asked, I'm gonna say, tell me even or odd.
Even.
Okay. And we got an even. One of them is unconscious. Let's see if we get another one. 2 is unconscious.
Dang.
And one of them is still awake, but injured.
Yep.
All right, there you go.
All right, let me see where. All right, screw that. Where did I last see Puppy Girl?
She was a little bit north of you.
I'll try to make my way that way.
So you're heading out of the fog cloud.
Yep.
You think? So when you come out of the fog cloud, you realize you kind of got a little off, and you thought you were going north, but you kind of went east, and you got into the fog cloud, and you can kind of see the puppy girl a little north of you.
Mm-hmm.
It took you. What was it? 20 feet wide. Was it the diameter or radius on your fog cloud?
On who?
Alone. How big was your fog cloud again?
Let me double check that.
You said it was a 20-foot sphere.
Because that would be diameter.
So it'd be 10 feet to get out of it.
Right.
20-foot radius spear of fog.
Oh, it is a radius. Okay. So 20 feet out. Because you have now used 20 feet of your movement to get out of the fog cloud. And we'll say he's let's say about 30 feet north of you, because she's outside of the fog.
Are there any guards that I can see close to me?
There is one guard between you and the scientist. That's holding on to Gray. I would say he's we'll say 15. We'll say 15 feet from you.
Well, that won't be enough to get. I'll charge toward him and try to hopefully scare him off.
Good idea. Roll me an intimidation.
Oh boy.
You can do it.
Okay, that's a 23.
Nice. Okay, I gotta roll against this.
Nice.
And you beat him.
Yes.
Okay. You have scared him, and he's like, "They got loose," and he runs.
That ends my turn.
And it makes sense because remember, he's got guards, but they're just whatever Marcus Maloney's decided to give him.
Yeah.
So they're not all the greatest guards. So you are now that much closer to Gray and the scientist.
Good.
All right, that's your turn. Unless you have any bonus actions.
No. There's nothing in range for that bonus action anyway.
Yep, understood. Alrighty. Next. You see. Let's see here. Yeah. You see from behind the scientist a figure slowly come out of a shadow. And it slowly forms into a Zoan with tattered wings. Appear behind the scientist. I'm going to roll over and see how nasty this is. Believe it or not, you think that she's about to kill the scientist as she brings her sword up, and it's this big great sword. But, oddly enough, you see a smirk on the scientist as he spins and dodges her attack. And all he says to her is, finally, I have found you again. But I will come and get you later. And he gets ready to leave, but it's not his initiative, so he can't run yet. And that is her turn. And she just kind of growls at him. All right. So you have this mysterious individual out by the scientist. Oh, let's see here. Initiative. All right, it's one of the bad guys' turn. Let's see if he finds anyone. And no, he oh no, that's a 17. All right, we're good. So yes, he does find a adversary to fight. Let's find out who. We've got 1, 2, 5, 5. So we'll do a d6. Is this a d6? Okay. 3. 1, 2. Okay, this guard rushes out of the fog, looking for the person that has cast the fog, and he has spotted you. Elonin?
I'm in the fog right now. Remember, I ran into unlocked people.
Oh yeah, you ran into the fog. I'm sorry, you ran into the fog. So he finds you in the fog then. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So he's going to try and attack you. Let's see what he does. For a nat 7, does a 10 hit you?
My armor class is 16.
It does not hit you. It just goes clang right off of what your little bit. What kind of armor do you have?
Light armor.
Light armor. So you hear a kind of a thud on your leather as it blocks the weapon because he hits it at a certain angle. It kind of glances off of your leather.
I think light armor might just be like chainmail or something.
I think chainmail is medium, but I could be wrong.
Oh, we have to look it up.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead and look it up. All right, and we'll roll for the next bad guy. Oh no! We rolled another nat 1. You hear another scream as a fourth person falls into the hole, and he has passed. He has gone unconscious.
See, this is why hells are great, because you can't roll a nat.
And a 5. So the other guy did not find anyone, or he did not find he did not find an enemy. He found one of his allies, thinking is an enemy, and luckily he's completely confused and misses the guy anyway. But now you hear, "Hey, don't swing at me!" And the last guy. Let's see here. He also cannot find the proper person. And he's slightly mad at his ally right at the moment. So how does he roll? He hits his own ally because he's mad. We'll do a small amount because he's probably just smacking him.
So apparently there's three
For
different
2
kinds.
damage.
Apparently there's three different kinds of light armor. I
Oh,
most
really?
likely have leather right now, but apparently it can also be padded or studded leather.
Yes. I forgot about padded, but yes, you're right. So yeah, it would have been this like muted thud kind of sound as it kind of glances off of your leather armor. Okay. So that is my bad guys for this part. So I rolled 2 separate initiatives for the bad guys so that there'd be a little bit of variety. That's why some of them got nick ones. All right, Elonin, it is your turn. You are hearing this kerfuffle as 2 guards are now angry at each other.
All right. Well, she's gonna find that a bit funny, but she's more focused on freeing people right now. So
Yep.
she's gonna rush over to the next person that's close and get whatever chains off of them.
All right, roll me a perception to see if you can find them.
Which crazy person is she going to find first?
I know, right?
So that would be a 15 with my perception.
Nice. You're getting some good rolls.
Well,
You
it
find
was only a 10, but I have a +5 to perception. So.
nice. You find knowledge.
Okay. No, knowledge is just spouting off how fog accumulation doesn't really match up with what's going on with this particular fog cloud.
She would whisper to the rambling robot child.
Yeah,
Shut up, you idiot, and 1. As he takes off his cuff.
He just looks down and goes, "Are we supposed to be running?"
All right, roll me to see if you can get his cuff off.
Okay. Well, I got a nat 20, so I'm guessing yes.
So you kind of gathered from the last time you did it that you kind of had felt the shock yourself a little bit because it wasn't on you. It didn't hurt you at all. But you kind of felt that static. So you learned that you had to be really, really careful with taking off, and that's why you were able to get this one off with no pain. Good job. Okay. And to knowledge, you now have access to your spells and your strength.
Actually, I do not. Because I have to have my spell. I have to have.
Oh, you don't have a tome. That's right.
Correction. You have access to any spells that you have prepared for the day if you are a wizard.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true.
Yep. So the prepared stuff you still have access to.
Which is Firebolt, Lightning Lure, Mind Sliver, Ray of Frost, Sword Burst, Toll of the Dead, Alarm, Chromatic Orb, Ice Knife, Identify, Illusory Scripted, Tensor's Floating Disc.
It should be every single spell you know besides 2. Unless you have ritual spells.
I have ritual spells, and I have I have also magic initiate spells.
Nice.
Oh, okay, yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, you got a good variety then.
I got all the spells.
Huh?
Unless Malta has any bonus action she wants to do. I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
Let me double check if I have any bonus actions right now.
I forgot to ask you about that earlier. I do apologize. It's easy to forget about bonus actions.
The only bonus actions I have is 2-weapon fighting.
Okay, yeah, you're good at the moment. All right. Knowledge, you are up, and
okay. The first thing he's going to do is ask Elonin. Oh, did they actually listen to me about the concept of being nicer to the people that you are caretaking for?
No.
All right, Alone, what do you say?
So what did he exactly say? He cut out for me for a second.
Oh, he goes. He basically asked Elonin, "Oh, hey, nice to know that you freed me. Did they actually listen to me when I told them how to more efficiently take care of people that you haven't captured?"
I go, yeah, whatever. Get on the ship.
Well, first I gotta go get Tome.
Which is on the ship. Get on the ship.
Oh, Tome's on the ship?
I assume
That's
so.
what she's saying. That's what she's saying.
Oh, Okay, if that's the case, Knowledge is going to believe her, and he's going to head towards the ship.
All right, so you're heading towards the ship. Roll me a perception to see if you can find your way out of the fog cloud.
At disadvantage, because I have disadvantage for perception checks.
Oh my word! I hope you don't fall in the window. Also, while he's doing that, can you Ilona, can you look up to see how long your fog cloud lasts? Just so I keep that in mind.
Okay, let me double check.
Thank you.
I got a 20 and a
Until
15.
there's strong wind, concentration's broken, or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has to use her bonus action.
Concentration up to an hour.
Oh, okay. So it can last a good while then. Okay, good.
So as long as you have to remember on your bonus action that you have to keep using the chant for fog cloud.
Well, there's your bonus action then. We were wondering what you should do with your bonus action.
There we go. That's my bonus actions.
Yep.
I'm keeping that up.
Concentration is for bonus actions.
Alrighty. Okay, Knowledge. You were able to find your way out of the fog in the direction you wanted to go. So you are now east of the fog, and you can see the boat in the distance. You can also see a decent amount of guards running from one of the buildings, but there are a couple that are staying behind at this one building near you.
Okay, now I'm gonna roll something because Knowledge could do something. Could do both things. What are you thinking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Strangely enough, he's not going to go for Tone first in this case. He's decided he's going to turn towards where Gray was, and he just says, "Okay, if our goal is if we're supposed to be releasing them, I gotta go release the little dog person that the scientist had chained up." Okay.
All right. So it took you 20 feet to get out of the fog. And like I said, you're pretty close to RuffDraft. RuffDraft is a little bit further north of you. And she's about 30 feet away from you.
Okay. If that's the case, let's see if I can cast a spell that can help. Actually, I can.
And you also see this ominous individual standing behind where the scientist had been sitting, and that he is facing her.
I'm going to cast Ice Knife on the chains at Gray.
Oh, the like the collar chain?
Whatever chains are binding her.
Yep, that's what's binding her. What?
That was a nat 20.
Nice. With a nat 20, I am going to allow you to break it. Unless because I don't think it's a special one, right? We weren't using a special one, Lorelei?
We weren't.
Okay, we were not?
We were not.
And that's at 120 feet, so I could have done that for a long distance.
Nice.
It's a regular one.
Okay. Simon. Gunner was sent on a mission to rally up revoltees on the way to the Mists, and to then go into the Mists and try and see if there is a rebel base hiding in the Mists. This is his task to prove that he is worthy of third in command. You have been tasked with being the person that watches him as being second in command, and being a second in command for quite a long time, so you know what you're doing. So it makes sense for you to be the one that kind of sits there and watches, right? Did you choose to stay in the town, go with the North Exploration group, or the South Exploration group? So you have three choices. And so it's up to you on whether you want to go exploring with one of the groups, or if you want to just kind of relax.
I would think if it's just an exploration, unless I had some really good intel, he would stay back with his force of his special force of protectors.
All right, sounds good. All right, and for those that are probably wanting to know what's going on with him, there is a second individual that is on the high end of the Marcus Knights, and he is on this trip specifically to monitor Gunner as the person that is going to be like, is he worthy of his new promotion or not? So he is there not to interact with the rest of the guards or anything, but to see how Gunner handles the situations. Now, if he wants to, he can hop in. Like, say, if he feels that he needs to keep himself safe, or something that is of great value safe, something like that. But for the most part, he is there to watch to see what Gunner is doing.
Sorry, is Gunner a NPC?
Yes, I'm playing
Just
Gunner.
kind of like last time.
Yes,
Kind of like last time.
Yes, much like
Okay.
last time. Yes, you are hearing a commotion over where they were supposed to be digging the hole, including 4 screams, and you're pretty sure they sound like the guards. Not a good start. And so you have heard 3 screams really early on, and then a 4th one later. And like I said, you can either decide to fall back so that you're safe, or you can go and investigate if you want to. But obviously, this is Gunner's job, and Gunner is away on one of the tests. So Lorelei, now that you have your chain broken, roll me initiative so that you can run away or whatever you decide to do. That way, I can throw you into the initiative.
No, it just waves at Gray and just goes, I freed you like I was told to.
I think you just see just a quick little your ears go up. It's like, yay.
I have added you to the initiative. All right. So that is Knowledge's turn. Do you have anything else, Knowledge?
Unfortunately, I have no bonus actions I can use.
Okay. All right. Shadow person number 2. Go ahead.
Yay. Okay. So can I appear behind one of the guards in the fog? If I need to roll, I already have a number for you.
Yes, roll. Go ahead. What's your number?
18.
Nice. Yes, you do appear. And you don't only appear behind one guard, you behind 2 guards, because there's only 2 guards left in the fog, and they're arguing with each other. Because
They're
one accidentally
distracted.
almost smacked the other one.
They're distracted. Lovely. So they hear in a very soft voice, death is coming for you.
Are you rolling? Are you trying to intimidate them?
Yes.
All right, roll me an intimidation.
24.
Nice. Oh man. Because it's a 24, I didn't expect you to get that high. I thought you were only going to intimidate one, but you have officially intimidated both of them.
Nice.
Because the other one rolled really high, but not that high. So all of a sudden, that you hear both of them squeal. One of them like full on squeals like a girl. The other one is like at least tries to be manly about it, right? And they both book it away from this guy. Let's see if they fall in the hole or if they run out of the fog. We've got, all right, one's out of the fog, and the other one's out of the fog. Okay, they both were, at least they were smart enough to not fall in the hole. So because of the way I rolled, one of them runs out around where RuffDraft and Knowledge are. Because he knows that that's like where the ship is, and that's where the majority of the guards are. Okay, so he's heading that way. He rolled really good, so he's heading that way. Do you see this guard heading out that way? Okay. The other one heads out, and we're going to see which direction he goes. D4 to see which direction he goes. He goes north. So he pops out near where the puppy is. All right. Yeah.
22.
Yeah, you make just fine. In fact, you what's your movement speed, dear?
40.
40?
Mm-hmm.
You can make it almost all the way to where Gray and them are.
Okay.
Because they were 30. No, that was on the east, though. You can make it to where Gray and them are. I have about 10 feet left because I said she was 30 feet from the east. And the way I'm kind of doing it is like in that circle type way. Mm-hmm. So from your direction, if you're going straight, you can make it to her in 30 feet. Right?
As he gets out of the mist, he vanishes. Because he does his
He vanishes into a shadow, I'm guessing?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for those that are outside of the mist, looking towards where Gray is, you see what? You see what looks kind of like a Zoan. He's got very smooth, very short fur. Black. No wings, though. He's kind of dressed, well, us as players know, look kind of Egyptian. Okay. But he's completely pitch black. Basically, he looks like Anubis. For those that know who Anubis is, right? All right. And you see him walk out of the shadows without a problem, directly towards the other stranger. And as soon as he leaves leaves the mist and hits a shadow, you see him almost turn into a shadow and slide into the shadow and disappear. Okay, that's his turn. Alastor, you are up.
What about the manacle? I'm gonna inspect the manacle, see what means it is locked.
All right. You can roll me either an investigation or an arcana.
I suppose I would have to roll investigation, as I do not have magic training whatsoever.
Yeah, I would say investigation then.
Probably best.
All right. What would that be? That would be
That would be a D20, and then since we don't have your stats, we'll add a 3. So Alta, could you roll me a D20, please? Since you've kind of been helping with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I rolled for him.
Yeah.
He got a 16 plus 3.
Nice. So you realize that these are able to be like packed with or like pick locked. But because you rolled so well, I'm going to say you also realize, and you also have kind of noticed this because I'm sure you've been fiddling with it some, that if you fiddle with it wrong, it's going to shock you and it's going to hurt.
Mm.
So that's what you learn from that.
So it can be lockpicked, yes?
Yes. Yes, it can.
Is that the end of my turn?
You do have a bonus action. If you have any way to do that, and you have movement. You haven't done any movement.
Okay. Would you consider stepping on the business end of a shovel to bring it up to my hand a bonus action?
Yes, I will allow you to have that.
All right. I am now armed.
Go.
And
right,
I'll say that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so you stay in the fog, or do you run?
It would probably be prudent of me to move. However, I would prefer to stay with the group so that I don't attract too much attention with what I'm doing.
Yes. I can say that if you want to, I will allow you to roll a perception to see if you realize where the group is. Like, because like I said, there is a little mermaid in the fog with you. Ilonin? Is that right? Ilonin? In the fog with you, but the rest of them have been slowly working their way out. But I want you to roll perception to know that.
All right.
So, do you want to do that?
Yep.
Give me oh.
Alrighty.
Okay, so we got a 10 plus 3.
13.
13.
You've got an idea that there's definitely been movement. You're not sure how many people are in or out of the fog, though.
Right.
All right.
I would actually prefer to stay in the fog.
Yep, that's fine.
That
All
works.
right, so you stay in the fog. That's fine. All right. Fengwendolyn, your turn.
Cool. Would I be able to see any sort of strands of the thing?
So remember how you noticed that what was it, the Nargles? I think you said
Nurgles?
Nurgles. The Nurgles. You remember how you noticed that the Nurgles were pretty much infesting the scientist. Okay.
Yeah.
That's still a thing. And so I would say yes, there would definitely be strands leading towards him, if nothing else, because oh my word. So yes, there would definitely be strands that way. There would be some strands kind of going towards a lot of the other Marks Knights and stuff like that. Let me think here if anything else would be triggering that at all. There is a few more faint
Oh, good
strands
boy.
heading kind of north. Direction.
North.
Yep.
So, is there any direction that doesn't have those strands?
They don't have that strands?
Yes.
I would say probably west.
Fengwendolyn would like to start running west.
Okay. Roll me perception to see if you can get out of the mist without hitting hole.
I have advantage because I got my eye patch.
Alrighty.
I don't think it matters though. I rolled real bad.
Oh, how bad?
Real bad.
Was it a nat 1 at all?
No. It's a 8 total.
All right. So as you're running west, you feel your foot slip on the edge of the hole, but because it wasn't a nat 1, you were able to kind of recover yourself and not fall in and keep running west. And you make it out of the mist, and however far you want to go that way. And you see in the distance that the water just kind of keeps going that direction. You can see some woods in that direction. So there's definitely some cover if you want to head that direction.
I would probably go 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And is there anything to like kind of smash the bracelet against on like a wall or something?
In that direction, because so there's a couple buildings that yeah, because you were kind of in the middle section of the town, so there is a couple buildings as you're running west. So you could try and smash the bracelet on the buildings if you'd like. That would probably be a strength to try and break it.
Strength.
Yep.
Here's another thing. Would it be possible to dislocate my thumb to try to slip my hand out of the bracelet?
I think what that would be as a roll.
Sleight of hand is my. That's what I was thinking.
Isn't there? I don't know if there's an escape artist thing.
There's
Not
not.
really. What do you think, Atris? Do you think there'd be like?
So.
Do you think it'd be Dexter? Because you're a little more sciencey, so it's like, how hard would it be to joint your thumb to do that?
Off of the top of my head, how many times have you done this? Slipped out of a
How many times
manacle
has
like
been Gwendolyn?
Yeah.
Probably not a lot. Besides, maybe like a long, long time ago.
Okay.
Like
if you
over 100 years ago.
If you succeed, you will probably take a little bit of damage.
Yep. That makes sense. Are you good with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I would say go ahead and do your dex. Let's see if you can do it right.
Is it dex or sleight?
Sorry. Go ahead and do a sleight.
Can I interject?
Yes, you may.
I would say if he's going to rip it off like that, it'd be quite a bit of damage because those needles are inside his
Yeah, there's the needles. You're right.
wrist. So you'd have to roll really good, I don't know what they're connected to, but a lot of it very much could be connected to the nerves, right?
It depends on where it hits because the idea is like it's not in a specific spot. It's just like they're so it might hit. The idea is that it's supposed to try and hit and be able to access the DNA. So just anywhere really, it doesn't have to be like specific. So yes, it could have hit a nerve, it could have hit a vein, it could have hit different things depending. So there were a couple
I would have thought it would have been more specific than that. But
I'm sorry, what you said?
to be as controlling as it is.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a valid opinion.
Very,
So yes, I would say it probably will cause some damage. But yes, you may go ahead and try.
just flipping it off. If Simon would have thought, well, if I just locate my thumb and pull it off, he would have thought of that. Or
Yeah,
the scientist would, I'm sure.
Yeah, that does make sense. A very, very good point. Thank you. And this is why I have at least a couple people playing bad guys to help me out with that. It's nice having a couple extra minds.
That's an 18.
That's not too bad. I will say you were able to get it off, but I will say, roll me a d10 to see how much damage you get.
Well, it wasn't a 10, but you got an 8.
Hey, I'm still up. That's all that matters.
You're still up. Oh, okay. All right. So I'm guessing you're bleeding quite profusely from your wrist right now, but you were up.
Definitely.
Grab that wrist, man.
And with that, I would like to use anything I can to try to hide. I can't use the hide action, but I'm trying to take cover at the very least.
Okay, gotcha. So I will allow you, since you were running, to run around the corner of one of the buildings. That way you can kind of have hide without using a bonus action.
Yeah.
All right. That's your turn?
Yep.
All right. So you're behind one of the buildings. I think that's the whole round, if I remember correct. Oh no, I have the one guard in the hole that is not knocked out. I have him. Let's see what happens with it.
Is it Gray's turn yet?
I was going to throw you in on the next round. Just because it was delayed. That's why. Not really, except that Fengwendolyn decided to rip the bracelet off her wrist by disjointing the thumb, and because of the needles and stuff, he took she took 8 damage, but she's still barely.
You want to know the fun?
Hey,
What?
that's all that matters.
Yep. You want to know?
I can cast magic again.
All right, so you have ran. That is Fengwendolyn's turn, and I think it's top of the round at the moment. Oh no, I was rolling for my last bad guy. He rolled decent. He is slowly pulling himself out of the hole, and he or at least trying. He was trying to pull himself out. Realized he couldn't do that with his movement. So instead, he tries to cast a spell out into the distance. Let's see if he got a good roll in general. I got a 16 plus his mod. And here. I think there's like 2 people in the fog right now.
I know I'm still in the fog. I don't know who else is still in the fog.
Alastor
right
is still in the fog.
Yep, Alastor's still in the fog. Okay. Mermaid. Elwyn. Elonin. Does a 16 hit you?
Let me double check. My armor class is 16, so I believe that's meets it, beats it.
Yes, it is, and he is casting you a firebolt at you. I think that's a D10. Okay, this is this one. Yeah. All right. You get 7 damage, fire damage.
Well, I'm still up. I got 6 hit points left.
All right, and that'll be his turn. And he's like yelling in the hole, "Oh, don't you get away! I don't want to get in trouble! Come back here!" And then he's like, "I'm gonna get out of here." Like under his breath. All right. Now we are at top of the round. And the top of the round was RuffDraft, if I remember correct.
Yes.
All right, RuffDraft.
I have to ask, and I'm hoping, are there any shields around me?
Like
maybe they dropped them when they ran off or something?
I'll roll for it. Give me a high or low?
Low. Got to pick it up.
It was a low. Yes. One of the guards, as they ran by you, dropped their shield.
I want to do something cool.
Okay, go ahead.
Um,
You can certainly try.
Very true. And I want to check this real quick. 7, 8. So, well, first things first. He's yelling out. What is the pup girl still where she was before?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, no, that's fine. So, first things first, he'll yell out to the, hey, Sparky, go and get the ship ready. We got to leave. And then he'll yell out, everyone, hurry to the ship. We're leaving. So he's yelling this out. As he's yelling this out, he's running to Gray. He scoops up the shield into his hand, runs up to Gray, and does a bait and switch, putting himself between Gray and the scientist.
Oh, neat.
And that will add 6 to her next AC, so she can get away and hopefully not get hit.
Nice.
So
I like
he's
that.
given her an opportunity to run off. He spent a superiority die to do that.
All right.
But yeah, just to reiterate, he called out Sparky to get the ship ready to leave and called out for the others to hurry to the ship.
All right.
And that ends his turn.
All right. You see a flick of an ear of this stranger that's over by the scientist. And she turns, looks at you, and she yells out very loudly, "Better yet, run north."
Better yet, run north. I don't know why, but he believes her. And that ends his turn. Oh, yeah, with him in front of the Gray. But yeah, that's it.
All right, sounds good.
Do they know where the gear is being kept, by the way?
Roll me a perception check to see if you notice where they're stashing the gear. For anyone who wants to see if they noticed. And while you're doing that, I will look at the lineup again. Oh my word! I'm so lost in the chat.
Who's next, if I remember correctly?
Yes, I think so.
You said perception?
Yes.
You said perception. I got an 18.
No, actually, it's Gray because she got added into the Gray. You were the 25, weren't you?
I thought it was a 22.
Oh, were you the 22? Okay, so it would be the scientist first then. Which is so it actually works out really good that RuffDraft did help with that. All right.
Very much, thank you.
You're safe now.
Oh.
Aww.
I think he just hears a very soft whimper from behind him.
Congratulations, you are being rescued.
I love it. Okay.
Do not resist.
So when we're ready, Gray, you're up.
Okay. Oh,
And like I said, anyone that wants to roll perception for where the gear is, they're more than welcome to do that.
I'll do that on my turn.
I am assuming she is still within 30 feet of him.
Yes, she is, because she was like on the carpet, and you haven't moved from the carpet yet.
Nope.
And he's
Yep.
You are slightly from him because of the bait and switch, but you're only just out of his, like the initial attack, right? So you're like
physically.
Instead of being 5 feet from him, you're 10 feet from him because you're one square behind. Because RuffDraft has bait and switched with you and is now where you were standing. So you're just 5 foot off of the carpet. Does that make sense?
Oh, she's definitely gonna run. You shear a very just soft line, and then you see her go into puppy, and then just vanish. Because again, fear triggers puppy form, triggers invisibility, and she is running north.
Okie doke.
And she can go 30 feet dashing because they're terrified. So 60 feet.
Yep. So you went 60 feet north. Okay. All you see from Dag is a raised eyebrow as she disappears, and she kind of like sniffs the air a little bit, and then turns back and looks at the scientist.
But RuffDraft, you did get a very grateful, she didn't talk, but she did give you this almost grateful sigh or just kind of noise or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay, and that's her turn?
That is her turn.
Alrighty. It is the scientist's turn. And I think he is now, his face is turned. He's very upset. It's like, how dare you let me lose my favorite thing? And he kind of looks around. He's like, I'm outnumbered. And he will very quickly try to escape. So he's going to roll to see how he does. And he rolled decently. Roll me a dexterity save as he smashes one of his vials off of his belt onto the ground.
Dexterity save?
Yes. And I will do that as well.
It's a 9.
Oh no, RuffDraft, you're just rolling so horribly right now.
Oh no!
Hey, he accomplished his
Funny.
goal. That's all that matters.
Yep. And Dag got a nat 20, so we're good on her. Okay, so she adeptly dodges out of the way of this mist and stuff. And you, on the other hand, get encompassed in this mist, and we're gonna say it's green because that sounds like fun. And you accidentally inhale it, and you're like coughing and stuff, and it's kind of making your vision go a little blurry, and it's just like, oh man, this feels weird. It's not going to give you any damage, but you're just kind of like not quite incapacitated, but you're not able to see clearly and stuff at the moment. And it's his chance to run, and he is going to use that kind of as a disengage action, in the sense he's using that to help himself disengage, and he is booking it towards the town where the rest of the guards are.
Does he run past me?
Call out real quick?
Go ahead.
Which one of us?
Oh, I heard Atris first.
Okay.
Does he run past me?
You were in the fog, correct?
Yeah.
No, he does not run past you. Nope. Now, what was yours, RuffDraft?
I was saying if I could yell a final thing as he was going out.
Yeah, yes, you may.
Oh, he kind of yells out, I can protect her. Think of it as a field test. And kind of...
Oh, I love that.
See if you can convince him.
Oh, you're trying to persuade him. Okay, roll persuasion.
Oh, persuade. Get on the page.
He's a little on the nut side, so you can get away with some stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to get away with.
Yeah, that's a 5.
Oh, poor RuffDraft.
Do we need to invert his values? Like, that should be a 15.
I know, right? So you get this kind of he looks back for a couple seconds as he's running, and you get this confused look on his face, and he's like, ah! No, and then he keeps going.
Oh.
He's kind of interested about that, but then he's like, yeah, no. That's
Sammy, which way was he running?
Towards town, so east, and kind of towards the guards.
But RuffDraft would be indicating to go north, because apparently that's the new north is the new boat.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the scientist's turn, and that was the only one that was left. And I think seeing the guards, so there were 2 guards coming. They're still running, but they haven't gotten there yet, so I'm not going to let them do anything. because they're not in range yet. But next turn, if you guys aren't out of there, they will be in range. Okay. Alrighty. So our next person after that, because that was the guard. No, I scrolled too far. There we go. Ellen, it's your turn. Did I say that right? I did not say that right, did I? I'm gonna.
It's Alonin.
Say it again.
Alonin.
Elonin. I was close, but not right. Elonin. Elonin. I will get this.
Alright, so I rolled earlier to see if I would be able to tell where things were being hidden.
Yes. Yes. What was your roll for that?
Blanket started skills.
What? What was that?
I rolled an 18.
Okay. Yes, you did notice that they were storing it in one of the buildings nearby. One of the ones that was a little bit more already put together. Let's see here. Let me pull up the map real quick so I can give you a proper building to since you did notice that. We are gonna say that was the hole there. So on the bottom of the town, there are two buildings to the left of where the hole was going to be. The little brown building on the left, the second one away from the hole, is where you saw them taking the supply and the gear and things.
Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, so we did the scientist, and that was the only one that was on that initiative anymore. So, and he's gone. I've got the two people going towards you guys. Sorry, try to scroll back to where I was. There we go. And we did Elwyn. No, I was saying it was Elwyn's turn. Go ahead, Elwyn. Did I stay right there?
Is anyone else
Lonan.
still? Is anyone else still in the mist kind of thing?
Alastor is.
Alastor.
And does he still have his
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly try and take his chain thing off.
All right, roll me a perception to find him.
Okay.
And a reaction because he's
Oh, I'm scared. Why is the reaction gonna happen?
I would say, Alastor, you are more than welcome to roll a perception to realize whether or not it's a friend or foe if you'd like to. That's up to you, though.
Depends on whether or not she finds me.
True.
18 plus 5.
Nice.
Oh, sheesh. Okay.
Oh, you have been rolling amazing today. Wonderful. Okay, so yes, you do find him.
This dice is being very nice to me.
Hey, she's got fairy luck tonight.
Yes. I guess because I was doing so bad yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. It was like, oh, here, have some luck today. That's
I know,
better
right?
than all the horribleness you had for the
I
other
know, right? Okay, so yes, she finds you, Alastor. Now what?
I would not know who is friend and who is foe for a very simple reason.
Okay.
Have I met this person before, or were they with us in the cell?
No, they were not in the cell.
Then I have no idea who this is, regardless of perception.
Yep. So what do you do?
You find Alastor about to try and break the shovel over his knee. But as soon as he, I assume I see them emerging out of the fog, right?
No, you both are in the fog. You see her merging, like, yeah, it would be kind of out of the fog. You see her appear near you, while you're still in the fog, right? It's kind of clear enough that you can see her because she's come so close, right?
Yeah.
And there are no weapons drawn, if that helps at all. Just some
thief tools in my hand.
Yes, she does have thieves tools in her hand.
He looks like he flourishes the shovel. He swaps his action and flourishes the shovel into a defensive stance that you would assume most monks would take. But then lets it down as he sees the thieves' tools.
There we go. All right. So what do you do, Elwyn?
I'm gonna try and use my thief tools to break the thing off.
I will get this. I keep wanting to put a W in there. I don't know why. Elonin.
Eleanor.
Eleanor.
Ellie.
Closer.
Eowyn.
So I'm guessing this is sleight of hand.
Yes, it would be a sleight of hand. I will also say, since you did so well, I will allow you to roll an advantage this time, since you're learning how these work.
Oh, that was bad on your part. So I got a 20, and my sleight of hand is +9.
You got a nat 20. Nice.
Way to go,
You are getting the
Moses!
hang of this, man. You know what you're doing with these things. You just click it off like you've done this for years.
It's permanent advantage now for every bracelet.
I'm okay with it.
I like having it where, like, if you're doing really well with it, you're learning it, right? So now you do get a permanent buff in some way as you learn it. So I don't mind doing that with my game. So yes, you now, and you can write this down. You have permanent advantage on locksmithing the bands of the Marcus Knights.
Oh, can we make sure that we grab everyone's items on the way?
Yes, I will allow you to do that.
Fengwendolyn's already right next to that building.
Yes.
She can grab all that stuff. So
Sounds great. Sounds great. And we can even say that, like, that Elonin calls to you and says, that building has our stuff.
Well,
yeah.
I rolled a 20 on my perception. So
Oh, you did? Okay, so you know where it is. Awesome. That works.
Yeah.
So you grab them and you book it. And with all the confusion, we'll just say that you were able to incapacitate the guards enough that you were able to get your stuff. They're heading north, but yes, they're heading north past north of the town at the moment. So you can go ahead and do what you were doing. Oh, and I want to explain. There was a couple extra slaves with you guys. There was 2 extra slaves with you that were helping you dig and stuff. And they're running north with you as well. They've been quiet this whole time.
As you guys are running, I don't know what they're like, off the top of a building or up on top of a cliff or something.
Yeah, you could be up on top of the building, like, because they're right north of the town. So I would say up on top of the building.
Not too far away, but enough where you hear the thunder. You hear this thundering, persuasive voice. I mean, so persuasive. You're like, oh my goodness, you cannot resist this. I rolled for it. I got like, unless you can try to not do it. I got what it wasn't a 22 persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
If
Yes.
you want to try and beat a 22 persuasion, you can beat it. You see this very large person up on there, 6 foot, 6 foot, 6 foot 6 inches tall. Very handsome, of course.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Anyway,
I
he
have to
says,
catch it somewhere. I'll have to find it.
yeah. Anyway, so you hear pretty much a booming voice saying,
I think so.
"You're lucky Gunnar was in charge of this, or you all would be dead." And he throws 2 daggers and strikes the 2 slaves. And does he kill him? I don't know.
Yes.
If you didn't tell me.
Yes, because I saw your damage and I know how much the health is about this range. Not to mention their NPC style slaves. So yes, you kill both of them. And they were like mixed in with you guys. And you're lucky that they were slightly ever so closer to him, because otherwise you guys would have gotten damage. Because he some of you guys probably would have been able to handle it. But some of you would not have, because he rolled with single daggers a 7 and a 9 damage. And I know some of you guys would be down with that.
If I had HP, I'd be okay, but
yeah, you would have damaged yourself. You would have been down, man.
Well, in a stupid sort of way, RuffDraft would kind of yell up, "Thank you," and then keep running.
Oh, I love that.
I'm scared of only one person, and he's not here.
The
Dark One.
Alastor stares at RuffDraft, rather confused. He looked like he was about to turn and say something, but RuffDraft sort of interrupted his train of thought.
Yeah, because I was like, obviously you can't see his face being confused, but I could just see him like turn to you, kind of cock his head a little bit, like, what? And then keep going. But yeah, that works out good. You don't know where you're headed. You just know you're going north. So we'll see what happens next time.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.